Morning, everyone. Uh, About 35 or 40 years ago, the legislature passed what was called the Life and Health Insurance Policy Language Simplification Act. That means since 1979, apparently the state insurance department was supposed to develop some sort of guidelines to make these explanation of benefits that people get in the mail easy to read. I believe that there is incredible frustration in society for numerous reasons. One of the frustrations is that we have such a bureaucratic society and such an impersonal society that people are becoming more and more frustrated. So, despite the direction some almost 40 years ago from the legislature to make it simple when you communicate from a health insurance carrier to a individual, it hasn't been done. So, I am going to give an example of some material we received at the Bramnick house in the mail, where my wife had a very simple, let me hold this up, bill that was submitted to the insurance company, in this case Horizon, I'm not isolating Horizon, which says that two bills came in, one from Atlantic Medical, one from Dr. Eisenberg, he's as a dermatologist, and the total amount of bill was $330. This is the first page of what the consumer gets. The consumer was told Horizon's paying nothing, therefore the balance is still $330. Now, on the first page that you get in the mail, all it tells you is they're not paying. Doesn't say why. So you go to page 2. Let's leave page 1 up here so it's consistent. Here's page 1. So let's go to page 2, where the mystery begins. Page 2. We now know that this was a bill generated from a service on December 5th of 2016, and the Atlantic Medical Group billed $130. The amount the health insurance paid was $0. Now comes the reason for legislation or cooperation from the insurance companies, because I spoke to the insurance companies, and they're willing to sit down and talk to me, and I'm a Republican. If I don't have to mandate this, I won't do it, but I probably will have to mandate it. So, here comes the mysterious part of the puzzle. Page 2, message code. This is the part I don't like. We don't need any message codes, but let's look at the message codes and try to figure out what the message is. Message code M987. M987. You got to go to page 3. All right? Page 3. I always forget what code it was when I go to page 3. M987. M987. This claim is not paid. I appreciate that. Your response to Horizon's Blue Cross was a coordination of benefit letter was required and was not received. Coordination of benefit. Well, I'm a lawyer, legislature. I'm assuming what that means is, I've interpreted this, it means you might have other insurance in your household, and until you prove to us through some affidavit, we're not paying. Okay. So far, the mystery continues. So, let's go back to page 1. Wouldn't it be nice on page 1 if in this big vacant space, which plenty of space, it said, we have not paid this bill because you might have other insurance and you must tell us. That's what I call plain language. Now, if that was the only problem, I may not be here. But on page 2, there's other message codes just to help you understand the insurance process. Let's look at the other codes that they want you to look at. Z028. Now this is understand, I've studied this. Can you imagine getting in the mail if you haven't studied? There we go. Z028, that actually is more helpful. It says, if you're covered by more than one health plan. Okay, we're still in the same genre, right? But they gave you some more codes on your second page. Z632. Z sounds like bingo. Z32. Okay, let's go to that. This is one of my favorites. Z632. Please note, claims must be filed within 15 months. This claim, okay, is from a December 16 experience. So why, on the second page, they send you a code to tell you that this claim is not payable if it's 16 months or 15 months old? They're not done. They got to send you a few more codes. Y755. Y755. Horizon provides administrative claims payment services only and does not assume any financial risk or obligation with respect to claims. You read that, unless you're a lawyer, I'm not sure you know what that means. I know what it means. What they're saying is they're not responsible to the doctor. What they're saying is, hey, look, all this paperwork, we don't owe the doctor anything. We may owe you something. The reason I'm going through this is the first 3 pages, in my judgment, is a complicated and confusing approach to the consumer. The bill that I intend to file is going to say that in 12-point print, when they tell you they're not paying the bill, they tell you what. And they put it in plain language. And then, if they just care to, they can send all the other information that they sent to us, right? Here's one in Japanese or Chinese, right? Here's one from 4 or 6 different other languages. Great. Knock yourself out, and you can send 7 or 8 or as is 9 pages to react to a $130 bill. But my concern is that this complicated explanation of benefits is not only confusing, and I don't want to say misleading because it's not misleading, but as a result of the confusion, I think it makes it very difficult for the consumer. So, after I meet with the health insurance carriers, I will then, if I cannot work out something, I'm then going to present the bill, which is hopefully going to make it, after 40 years, real world language to say, we didn't pay. Now, how many different reasons do they deny? One, they call coordination of benefits, means somebody else has insurance. 2, you didn't meet your deductible. And your deductible is $200, but we're going to apply this to the deductible, and now your deductible is only $50. How's that? That would be helpful. Or, we don't cover this stuff. It's not in your policy. We don't pay for dermatologists under any circumstances. You've got an anti-dermatologist policy. I don't really care as long as I know. The reason this bugs me so much is because I find that society more and more is making it more difficult, more confusing, and more frustrating for the consumer. And I think we have an obligation to make it clear, simple, and easy. And I guarantee you it can be done. It's 2017. I think we can write this in clear language. So I'm hoping I can work with the carriers on this, and I'm happy to answer any questions and take your questions. But I just think it's time for us to speak up and say, hey, you know, let's make it consumer friendly, not insurance friendly.